Good morning, folks, and welcome to the New Holland U-20 Canadian Curling Championships here at the Jerry McCrory Community Centre in Sudbury, Ontario. I don't think it's a community centre. I think it's a sportsplex or something, but I have to write that down so I don't screw that up again. My name's Sean Turriff. I'm joined here by Lauren Radula. Lauren, welcome to the table, booth.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We have a good game this morning, I expect, between Ontario 2 and New Brunswick. The ladies' action, it's draw 12 here on April 1st. No April Fool's jokes going on, I hope. The Ontario team out of the Rideau Curling Club, skipped by Charlotte Wilson. And the New Brunswick team out of the Sackville Curling Club, skipped by, I want to say, Maya Pugsley. So we just watched last stone draw, Lauren. By virtue of that, it looks like New Brunswick has got the hammer in the first end. Any insights into the ice early? It's hard with the 9-minute practice, but anything you saw that stands out?
No, it's pretty quick. It's been pretty quick all week too, by the looks of it. So that's super advantageous for the curlers. Hopefully it holds up for them throughout the game, because that's always a bonus as well. So it's running at about probably, I would say, 16 seconds to T-line. So hog-to-hog time. That's pretty quick for us curlers, but personally I like it that way. So
Ontario leads Sydney Anderson, being asked to throw up a tight center guard here to start off. Pretty standard opening, especially in the first end.
I like this call. If you know the ice and you want to get into it, first end, I say go for it.
She parks that right between the New Holland logos there and in front.
It's probably 14-5 here. Yeah, I don't think anything was played here yet.
Looks like New Brunswick's happy to get going with this as well. I guess they could come around, but New Brunswick lead Lauren Price being asked to throw corner guard, an out turn.
We're going in.
We are going in. That's probably my mistake.
Yep.
Spent last week coaching the mixed doubles, the U-21 mixed doubles. Somewhat difficult knowing what shot was coming because, of course, there's nobody standing in the house to tell you. Just two players at the far end throwing at a blank house. So I just trust my instinct here, and I got that wrong. So that one slips just behind the T line, really wide out there. That's not much of a problem. Sydney Anderson, of course, being asked to pull that off. Do you think they want to stick here, Lauren? Do you think it matters?
Oh, yeah, I would. They would probably love to stick here, try and get a roll to center if they can, but it's just curling on them.
14-5. Just curls there. Yeah. Did she throw normal? She says it felt like it was picking in her hand.
So a bit of a break there for New Brunswick. Means they can now split the house.
Same way.
And Lauren, how many times did you play in this event? The Junior Nationals U-20, U-21?
The juniors, I think, only twice, I want to say, because COVID kind of messed with that a little bit. Technically, one of them was just a world qualifier, but I still count it as the juniors. And then a bunch of U18s as well, so it's always awesome to have an event in an arena, on arena ice, give the players a chance to play on good arena ice. It's always a bonus for them. I loved it, so.
Yeah. This venue's been great too. The two ice pads in the one facility means they don't have to go from club to arena ice, which sometimes happens depending on the location. And yeah, New Brunswick Rock just slipping a little deep. Players having a little bit of a time figuring weights and lines out early, but it is early. Well, Ontario's second, Abby Rushton, trying to make up for that early miss with a hit here.
Looks close here.
They don't get your roll, Lauren, but they do stick around.
I'll live. they'll want to stick around here as well so that Ontario doesn't have a chance to wrap around their guards. So
Carly Smith, the second for New Brunswick, probably doesn't want the roll here, Lauren.
probably not. No, just stick in the rings just like that.
That's a good shot out in the wings. Didn't take either of these teams long to figure that line out. And slightly different line here for Abby, being a lefty, but looks like she's hanging a little straight there on her.
They said a little heavy, so that'll affect the way the rock runs too. Might not get as much curl as their first one. So
What was my weight on?
So options here, Lauren. I guess
Like a
the
40?
New Brunswick team could choose to peel that
they
guard,
could, yeah.
but they're electing to go in. I think I saw that.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I'll be careful after getting that wrong the first time. I want to make sure what I'm calling here.
I don't mind the peel call here either. Forces the blank pretty much, so.
I guess the danger here is if they don't get it far enough over and it's a little high, which it's a little high.
Yeah.
They could introduce the possibility of hit and roll in behind
Yeah.
the cover, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty wide. Ontario's going to take this on anyway.
Might as well.
No harm, no foul, right? The Ontario third is Amelia Benning. Amelia is just 14.
Wow.
A grade 9 student at North Grenville District High School. This team again out of the Rideau Curling Club in Ottawa.
Oh, it's close.
Pretty close. She's got a good roll out of it. You're in a little better position there, Lauren. Is there room or?
There's a bit of room there, yeah. She's got a bit of space.
Still a pretty good shot there from Amelia.
They'll have to play softer weight at this to get it to curl past the guard, so boards the call.
Mia West is the New Brunswick third. He is a King student at Crandall University.
Hard, you gotta go. Hard, Casey, you gotta go. 12! Hard, Casey, you gotta go. Hard, keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
She's close.
Hard,
Woohoo.
keep going, keep going.
Will she stick around? No. I like the weight selection there, though, Lauren. She didn't try and overpower it. She didn't try and rip it.
Yeah, especially on ice like this, you don't need to throw crazy up weight. Nice control or board weight for just even nose hits is open hits, perfectly fine. Hanging out there right now.
We'll probably end up talking about the ice quite a bit through the broadcast. It's one of the things that it's one of the. Again, you can speak better to this from your experience, but it's one of the things I find watching that the teams have to make their biggest adjustment on, because very rarely have they seen ice like this at a club or in any of the training facilities that they've been to, with this much curl, this much speed.
Yeah, on teams that I've been on in the past, we've had to definitely adapt our throws to arena ice for sure, because club ice is definitely not, unless you get really good club ice, which is very fortunate, but majority of the times this is going to curl a lot more and be a lot faster than any club that you'll see. So
Yep.
Really, really good shot there by
that's really nice.
New Brunswick.
Good one.
She didn't get by that guard by a whole lot, and look at how far she rolled. She got a good part of that stone and still got that big roll. Finding the, in addition to the ice being a big adjustment, the sharpness or the liveliness of the rocks at this is something that teams take a little bit of time to get used to. But well managed there. They got almost to the nose and got a nice roll to get away from that center guard.
That's why I like those soft weights too, because you can manage them better and stick around easier as well. So.
Ontario skip is Charlotte Wilson. Charlotte's a 16, grade 11 student at Bell High School. A young Ontario team.
Yeah.
Probably looking for the roll under. It's a long way to roll, but guess they had to be a little careful there, Lauren. If they kind of halfway roll, then it gives New Brunswick the chance to roll fully under the center, and then might introduce a possible two.
Yeah, you kind of got to make a decision whether to commit to the big roll or to just stick nose, so that the roll is harder for them.
Sorry? Yep. Are we rolling a bit out? Just nose? Okay. Right at it, you got it.
The New Brunswick skip is Maya Pugsley. Maya's 19, psych student at Mount Allison University. This one's going early on her. She still has a piece. Sweepers are holding it well.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And there's that roll we talked about, Lauren.
Yep, it's a good brush, too.
Good shot.
You probably have enough to just play a soft weight, get around the guard, and hopefully get a little flop under.
I like even the 10 at this. I don't know. Okay, still 11. Yeah, I think came down.
It's another shot you wouldn't see at your club, because your club conditions wouldn't necessarily allow you to be able to curl that much to get under at most clubs.
They're throwing board too, so maybe I'm wrong on this one too. We'll see.
No, I think I agree with you though. The flop under is possible.
It's tough,
and it's not something necessarily you see very often. So being on ice like this just opens up possibilities. Trying to get some last minute curl, maybe to get that flop under. Pretty much knows a little tiny flop out, but
yeah.
New Brunswick here with the opportunity to peel this out and blank the end. At least I'm assuming that's what they're going to do. I was wrong earlier. I could be wrong here.
10? Sorry? See what happened on mine? Yeah, I can't remember. She said something. I got it. You got it. What was the as important? That's probably the one.
I think the indication was they wanted it right out. I think I heard that from Maya. She might have got that a little bit started.
Yeah, looks like they're just gonna nose it.
Yep, there you go. Nose hit for New Brunswick. They take one in the first end, and as we head into the second, Ontario 2 will have the hammer. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back with the second end.
All good.
Welcome back, folks. We're at the New Holland U-20 Canadian Curling Championships at the, I still didn't write it down, Jerry McCrory Summerside, Countryside, not Summerside. Where's Summerside come from? That was last year. Yeah, it was last year. Countryside Sports Complex here in Sudbury, Ontario. My name's Sean Turriff. I'm joined by Lauren Radula. Lauren, that was pretty up and down first end. There was a couple of opportunities, but either team playing too risky. What do you think?
I thought we'd honestly get into it there for a second. I thought maybe we'd see a corner guard after the center line guard that they threw up, but hopefully we'll get some more rocks in play this end.
You got it. We're close.
These teams playing in this event, they're playing 8 ends for the first time versus 10. That's coming actually out of world curling, and it just kind of flows downhill. We want our athletes to be prepared for the next level of competition, so we're trying to match the rules as best we can here in Canada. What it means, though, and Lauren, again, you can speak to this, but what it tends to mean for me from a coaching perspective is that in the 10-end games where there might have been an up and down and on purpose, maybe just to save some time on the clock, you don't see that so much.
No, you don't have the liberty of 2 extra ends to kind of blank up and down the first 2 and then get into it if you want to. It's kind of like, I don't know, in 8-end games, I've always liked kind of getting into it right off the bat. If you know the ice, obviously, like you should after practice. Pre-game practice is always helpful, getting to know the ice, so I don't see why not, getting into it early.
And these days, the 10 ends is the exception as opposed to 8 ends. These players will be much, much, much more used to playing 8 ends than a 10-end game. They may not have played a 10-end game all year, frankly, to be honest.
In our junior season, it's 8 ends and everything else, and then you come to this and you're playing 10 ends. And you kind of have to switch your strategy up a bit, too, because you are playing a longer game, so.
10.
So we see a delayed corner here. No.
Nope, we will not. Maybe.
Oh, maybe, could be. Charlotte's just messing with us here.
I'm a fan of the delayed corner for sure.
Now
she would have liked to have the rock maybe not in the top of the house and rolled over to the side a bit more. So when she called her hit, her first shot, she would have wanted to roll definitely to the wings so that New Brunswick would have to roll back to center. And then you can throw up the corner.
Always Abby. 1, 2, all you. 1 good. Hard Abby. Really good. Gotta go. All the way.
Sweepers are gonna have to carry this one.
we talked a lot. I've talked a lot on the streams about guards at this event, and I typically do every year because the ice conditions really change how you use guards, in my opinion. Now, you're a very experienced front-end player, so guards are well within your wheelhouse. What I typically talk about is the fact that, on club ice, which might be a little straighter, just get the guard in front of a rock and you're probably pretty good.
Yeah.
At this level, though, guard in front of the rock doesn't necessarily do anything depending on the depth. Because if it's too high, then the chase is relatively easy. If it's too deep, then the run back's relatively too easy.
On ice like this, you kind of have to be like in a sweet spot. Almost, you can't be too tight because, like you said, the run's too easy. But if you're high, it's basically a guard that's not there.
Skip Charlotte Wilson asking her second. Abby Rushton to hit and roll here. I don't think they expect to get both these red rocks out, Lauren, but maybe just get the roll.
Yeah. You don't necessarily need to remove both stones if you get a good roll.
I like the weight call there. Again, we talked. You and I talked already a couple times about not throwing a bomb.
Yeah.
The issue being, of course, that with that weight, it's more susceptible to curl, I suppose.
Yeah, she sounded like she said she needed more ice there, so.
Carly Smith now. Just trying to get rid of this. I'm thinking they just want to stick right there. Little rollouts, not so bad either. Good angle on those rocks because Charlotte now has a decision. Does she want to make the roll or does she want to make the double? Because I don't think she can make both.
Nope. I don't mind this call. You put a corner guard up, so you might as well try and use it.
Yeah, and there's no real urgency to try and get that off the forefoot yet. Really well managed shot. That's mostly under the guard there. Enough that it'll probably entice Maya to peel. Oh, maybe not. Case in point, we just talked about the depth of that guard, right?
Yeah.
It looks pretty good. That's mostly half under, but on ice like this, it was a really good hit and roll, but it has to be so much more precise than what you see at your club.
11-5. Hard, you gotta go. Hard, you gotta go.
Again, I think I really like that weight selection. They just got a little more curl than maybe they anticipated.
Yeah, it sounded like they were calling for 11, but got maybe an 11-5, so a hair down, but nothing crazy.
This gives Amelia the opportunity to try and hit and roll over and spread those rocks out.
Yep. She does this, will be in a good spot to get to this end.
Didn't get the roll, but that's not bad. The angle between those two yellow rocks there's not really a double there. So New Brunswick now looking to indicating that they want to hit and roll under that other yellow rock. Force Ontario to play the tap as opposed to giving them some kind of open hit.
You got it. She never times hits. She can't time until time for hits. Just fair. 10!
Front end saying 10 out of Mia's hand.
Heavy! Roll. It's all right.
Just not enough roll.
Both teams still trying to figure out that angle, I think, Lauren. That curl and weight combination to get the good rolls.
Yeah, the thing with arena ice is it's going to be weight sensitive, so they were calling 10, which they were saying was up for what they had originally called. So that weight adjustment will be helpful for Skip to be able to put the broom down.
So we'll see which team makes the adjustment first, I guess.
Now the double's there, it looks like, so you'll see New Brunswick take this on.
10? Right at it. You got it.
Maya taking her time to settle in. She's got lots of time on the clock. Only at the second end.
Yeah. I just
Sweepers on this early.
All right.
Not exactly the call, but a usable rock.
Yep. The weight call for that double was just 10. So, I mean, with the way the rocks are, like we said earlier, I'm assuming that's enough weight to kill both rocks if she hits it where she wanted to. So,
This path is doing.
just goes to show how lively the rocks are and how fast the ice is.
Ontario has the opportunity now to spread their two rocks out and possibly set up that deuce. Key here really is just to put them in a place where there's no double. Double's going to be tough for New Brunswick anyway because of where their shot rolled to. Ontario can put pressure on if they can just get something sort of even in the 8-foot here. Sweepers just
Got an 18-2 on that, mind you. I wonder if she maybe got caught in a bit of a fresh path there. We got to be mindful as a thrower and as sweepers as well, relaying information to the thrower, paths that haven't been played. Something that the teams that I've been on, we've tried to work on because it can catch you just like that.
Yeah, and I guess even though it's up the center, if we haven't thrown up there, we don't know what the ice is doing up there, right? So now New Brunswick with a little bit of an opportunity here. Maya's just going to try and run that red back onto the yellow and hopefully for them sit two. Force Ontario to a single.
Right at it. You got it.
Sweepers on this early. It's curling early.
Oh, wow, yeah. They're calling it down.
Little bit of a missed opportunity there. Ontario now has the wide open draw back to get their two after all.
Yeah, a few missed opportunities there. It's been back and forth.
Nice thing for Charlotte is she just threw this and she just threw this path. So again, to your point about paths and information, she's got some first-hand info now on the path she's about to throw.
Never hate throwing the same shot twice. Sweepers on this early again.
This one looks better to me. I say that with a little question mark because it's starting to dig in.
Wow.
So Ontario a little disappointed there that they couldn't convert that deuce, but they do take one, tie the game up in the second end, handing the hammer back to New Brunswick. Teams will take a very short break and we'll be right back.
Today we learned to put one foot in front of the other. That with a little hard work, great things will happen. We can go for gold, but what matters most is having fun. We learn from some of the best, improving our skills, building confidence, and making friends that feel like family. We are proud to be the future of curling.
Welcome back, folks. We're at the Jerry McCrory Countryside Sports Complex in Sudbury, Ontario. Sean Turf here with Lauren Rajala.
We can't
We're at the New Holland U-20 Canadian Curling Championships. We've got Ontario 2 playing at New Brunswick.
Close.
Sorry to both Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. Sorry about that. Draw 12 action here on sheet C. Tie game 1-1. New Brunswick, not Nova Scotia, has hammer going into the third end. And Lauren, that was a bit of a tough end for Ontario.
Yep, it looks like Ontario's throwing up the guard here, so I'm hoping to see New Brunswick do the same, throw up a corner guard. This one's looking a little light.
Do we want a corner?
That's 3 come up light now.
Okay. Yeah. It's up to speed here. 15-5.
This is a good opportunity for the lead on New Brunswick to get a nice corner guard up here.
Over there. T1.
Never mind, it looks like we're going in.
Eighth grade. T1. Go now.
What do you think about that?
I think I would like, if I'm their coach, that's where I always come from in these discussions. I'd probably choose to press my advantage a little bit, especially, and I'm thinking from a, if I'm New Brunswick, I'm thinking, where's Ontario's heads right now? They just missed an opportunity to get 2. Now might be the time to push a little bit, to make it harder on them. They were already feeling a little pressure, so maybe I should add to it. That's just me. I think I'd prefer to see the guard go up. With that going in, I think we're just probably going to run them up and down.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like both teams are kind of trying to figure out the ice and weight still. So maybe both teams are kind of playing it a little bit safe right now. But yeah, that missed guard by Ontario 2 is a big opportunity for New Brunswick to get something going to score 2.
Carly Smith now trying to take this rock out. We've seen this side a couple of times. We've seen a couple of over curls here. This one's looking pretty good. She's got a good half rock. A little more, a little bit of a squirt inside off the hit, so that's good news for New Brunswick.
I think we throw a corner. Okay.
Ontario probably pretty happy just to be able to roll this in.
Yeah.
I like a 10. 5. You got it. Good, Jen. Hair heavy. 10. 9, 5, 10. 10, 9, 8. Lead. 10. Girl.
It's probably pretty easy to overthrow rocks on this ice. Heard the sweepers call 9-5, 9-8, so I assume Charlotte was looking for control weight, so around 10-5. But on arena ice like this, it'll be pretty easy to overthrow stones like that, so Charlotte will have to be aware of that as well.
Every hit here means that the play in the house creeps a little higher eventually. Not with this one. Oh, that one got a little roll under, so it reset it a little bit. But eventually, if they just keep nose hitting it, they're going to run themselves up out of the house.
Yeah.
Charlotte trying to roll that into the center again, maybe a little bit deeper than it is. Both teams seem to be pretty content with just running through this end. It's one of those ones where, Lauren, you almost, if both teams just agree we're going to blank the end, let's just blank the end and start the next end. But that being said, they've got to make, right? I mean, if there's ever a catastrophic miss, then, that changes the outcome. So.
Yep.
There are 4 games going on this side of the arena. Over on sheet A, we have Northern Ontario. I believe that's Northern Ontario 1. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is.
Northern Ontario 1 against Newfoundland Labrador. Northern Ontario is currently enjoying a 2-1 lead in the third. Beside us, we have Quebec playing Nova Scotia, actually Nova Scotia. And Quebec is leading that 2-0 in the third. And on our right, we have Saskatchewan playing Alberta. Alberta up 4-1 in the third with a big score of 4 in the first end for Alberta there.
Yeah.
There are 4 other games going on the other ice pad, which we can't see from here. If you want to know what's going on those games, I would go to curling.ca/scoreboard, and you can get all the up-to-date, up-to-the-minute scoring information.
Can we just roll out? Yeah, straight. Good sweep.
And there's that rock that just creeped up high enough, Lauren, that they make a little outside roll instead of an inside roll, and now we're not hitting rocks in the house anymore.
What do we have on Casey?
Looks like New Brunswick's going to try and wrap a piece around that yellow, which I don't mind. It's a nice call. Might as well use what you have.
Yeah, might as well use it if it's there.
I like it. It's close. C1. Easy.
As mentioned off the top, this is draw 12. The New Brunswick team is currently sitting at 2-3. The Ontario team at 1-3. There are 9 teams in each pool, 2 pools of 9 teams, so 18 total teams. And so there's a few games left, but both teams really need to start winning if they hope to be anywhere close to the podium. That was a good draw, Lauren.
Yeah, that is very nice. So you'll see Ontario 2 here trying to run theirs back onto it.
There wasn't a lot of real estate she could hit there and actually get something out of it. So it was pretty good shot.
Yeah, very easy to run out of rings there for sure. This looks close. Very nice. So New Brunswick here is going to try and corner freeze onto that yellow now. Really important here to remain shot rock.
Again, not a lot of real estate, but the nice thing for Mia West here is that she just threw this, I guess. So she should have a sense of line and weight.
Sweepers like it. Wow.
What a nice shot.
3 great shots.
Yeah, those were 2 really good shots from Mia. No real estate. Like, sometimes we talk about tolerance and the envelope for missing, and she did not have a very big envelope to miss there. And consequently didn't, I guess. Very good, 2 very good shots. It's kind of forcing Charlotte now. She can't really come down on it purely. She has to use that yellow guard to maybe run it back and maybe get rid of everything.
Sounds like she wants to hit her yellow on the nose and just pick that red out cleanly. Might catch the back yellow on the way by. We'll see.
This has been a popular side and of the sheet to play on. Both times going away, we've seen
both teams should know this spot on the ice very well now.
Oh, very good shot.
Wow.
Just as you drew it up, Lauren.
Yeah.
Look at that. That hopefully gives Charlotte a little more confidence after 2 tough misses in the last end. That's a pretty precise shot to make and put her team in a good position to at least force, if nothing else.
I guess we didn't need the corner guard thrown up right away.
Yeah. I don't mind 30.
So Maya Pugsley now trying to just really replace that stone that got picked out.
You got it.
Heavy could still be okay, I guess, Lauren, if they wrap it around.
Yep.
It's not ideal, but it could still do the job.
Looks like we're running right now.
Really needs to work. It's a long way out there. She had great weight. Her line just failed her a little bit there. You like rolling in under the guard here if you're Ontario, or rolling out and away?
It depends. Like if you want New Brunswick to throw the draw or the hit and stick. She just threw a draw, so maybe you want her to throw the hit and stick, so leave it out in the open for her. But either way, she'll have a decently easy shot for one, so.
We might have a double the blank.
9-5! 9-5! Good 9! Coming down! Still 9-5! Straight, yeah! 10! 10! 10-5! Really came down. Throw to stay.
Ooh. I think they might have kicked that other rock out.
Yeah, looks like it.
A little bit unfortunate there, right? Because sitting 2 pretty much guarantees the force, but if New Brunswick chose to now, they could peel this out in blank. Doesn't look like that's what they're choosing to do.
Ontario too seems to think that it's in.
It could be. I mean, the overhead view isn't necessarily accurate. Anybody who's watched on TV knows that our overhead view isn't necessarily. Just because of the way the cameras work, it's the fisheye thing.
You're gonna need less weight in this line.
Looks like they think it's in. So I assume if it was out, they would be electing to play the hit and roll out to blank. So we'll see her draw for one here.
Electing to take the same pass she just threw on the draw. Makes sense. It's what she knows. She knows the weight. She knows the line.
Hard, you gotta go. Hard, you gotta go. Hard, you gotta go. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
It's good from my vantage point, Lauren, but sweepers are going hard anyway.
Yeah, they're gonna have to work on this one.
Hard. Keep going. Keep going.
Just need a bite of the 8-foot. They're pretty close. Pretty close.
It's okay.
Not quite close enough, unfortunately. That one comes up a little short, giving Ontario the steal of 1. It's been a game of steals so far. So Ontario takes one more in 3. And a 2-1 lead going into the 4th end. We'll be back shortly after a quick break. Stay with us.
If that path isn't as quick as
Welcome back, folks. We're at the Jerry McCrory Countryside Sports Complex here in Sudbury, Ontario. We're at the New Holland U-20 Canadian Curling Championships. My name's Sean Turf. I'm here with Lauren Ratchula. We are witnessing a battle of steals between Ontario 2 and New Brunswick women. So far, Lauren, it's been a tightly contested game with some missteps.
Yeah, last end I thought we'd see a nice clean end, an easy blank, but we actually kind of got into it a little bit there and didn't know like what was gonna happen. There was like 4 nice shots in a row there to keep the play in the wings. Now New Brunswick is down in points now, so we're seeing the corner guard being thrown up right away now. So kind of got to get into it a little bit if you're New Brunswick. It'd be very advantageous to score 2 here for them. So.
As mentioned earlier, these teams do play 8 ends, not 10. So after this end, there will be a short break. The teams get 32 minutes of thinking time to play their game. A little bit different than what you see maybe in some other events. The rules for coaching are a little different. Don't want to interrupt the action to explain it, but I always think it's helpful for folks to understand. We run under what are called coach interaction rules, so there are no traditional timeouts that will stop the clock. Each coach for each team gets 1 coach interaction per half. What that means is they can go talk to their team for up to 60 seconds while their clock is running. When their clock is not running, when the opponent's clock is running, they can talk to their teams as much as they want. They can't do anything like shout to them or wave a flag or anything to get their attention, but they can talk to them, and it's very advantageous because they can talk to them in the moment about the situations as they unfold. Between ends, they also are able to talk to their teams. The coaches are positioned at the playing end, so wherever the rocks are ending up, that's where the coaches are. It's a little bit different than adult play. This, what you'll see at the Briar and the Scotties. At the Briar and the Scotties, you'll see coaches are parked at one end or the other. One team is at one end, one team is at the other. The interaction rules are a little bit different. You can talk to your team as long as you don't have control of the house. So while the rock is running, you can talk to your team. That's a little bit different. And I think I mentioned you do get that 1 timeout. And no interactions. The idea there being Curling Canada structured it such that the amount of interaction from the coaches is gradually dwindled down from more at U18, a little bit less at U20, and a little less at the adult level. Again, trying to align with whatever World Curling has put out. Anyway, sorry, I went into that thinking we might have a clean end again, but we've got the typical box structure set up here, Lauren.
Should be enough space here for Abby to wrap around everything and get a good one top 4, which would be a really good setup for Ontario too.
Yeah, those are 4 really good shots by the 2 leads for both teams. Just to set that up, it's a little bit textbook. That the first yellow rock is a little bit high, but still, it's all pretty well set up. Abby looking a little disappointed in that, but not a horrible place for that. The staggered guard is not so bad. Usable for sure.
It's a little close to the one that the lead first threw up. The double peel might be there. I'm not sure if there will be any contact on her corner guard here. You always got to be careful when you're throwing these double peels that you don't want to rip out A, your rock in the rings that's perfectly buried, or B, your corner guard that you threw up.
Definitely going for the double peel here. Looking pretty good. Just a little unfortunate, hit that a little thinner than she wanted to and only picks the 1 off. See them trying to carve it over, but not able to get it that extra couple of inches. Charlotte now with a decision. Do we go aggressive? Do we try and limit New Brunswick's opportunity. What do you like, Lauren?
I like either call here. I mean, I like this call, trying to either run this back and get rid of both, or even just peeling the corner is not the end of the world here. However, she did just throw the draw on her first one, so maybe you take that into account, but
Yeah, a couple of factors there, I guess with New Brunswick being shot, that's one thing to think about.
Yeah.
You don't want to let too much build up there.
Okay, I think it's about a 15-8 right now. 15-8. Do you want a 60 then?
That corner guard having served its purpose to protect that one rock. New Brunswick now going to try and come around the center to generate a second potential scoring point.
they'll want to stick around in the top of the house here so that Ontario doesn't have a chance to lock one in there and potentially steal or at least force New Brunswick to just 1 point.
I'm good.
Pretty good result there. I think they might have wanted to be maybe a foot deeper, but boy, that's a pretty good result coming around those two center ones. And Lauren, that's something too that again, I don't want to talk about ice for 8 ends because people get bored, but that's something you wouldn't see necessarily at a club because she got in behind that rock on the 12-foot. She curled with a draw shot around the rock on the 12-foot, and very rarely would you be able to do that in a club situation. Now, this is where I was going with this, though. The sweeping has a big part to do with that.
Yep.
And as a front ender, I know you're a lover of big sweeps. So
No, this ice it's like my dream to sweep on for sure. You could maneuver a rock. If she was a foot heavier on that draw, she would have been perfectly buried behind a rock in the top 12. So I mean, and the sweepers can work with that too. Like you can really finish a rock in there at the very end as a sweeper on this ice, or carry rocks that were not supposed to be in the rings that are now in the rings.
So question, do you like this turn or do you like the other turn better?
I think I like the other turn better. She did just play this side, and again, you might be able to see curl as long as she gets a piece buried on this turn.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough of that yellow one to be able to run it.
Yeah.
Sorry, the yellow in the top 12. I don't think there's enough to. Oh, that's a really good shot. She might be half out, but boy, that's pretty good.
It is really good. Yeah, you're not getting. Ontario 2 can't get under, like hit the one on the T line and get under, so that is really good.
So now they are considering that run of the yellow rock on the top 12-foot. You can see there, but I don't know if they can see enough of it to run it back. Ontario in a little bit of a jam here now.
That's the farthest that we've been, though.
Okay, I can see a little less than half. That's good. Okay. It's like a third. Okay, do you like it with Theo?
I had a 4.
Down Ontario got to scramble here a little bit. This one's tough. I like this if it's sticking out a little bit more. I'm not sure they can get to that red one, but we're going to find out here in a second. Even if they peel that top one, I think that's not a bad result.
Yeah, I don't mind clearing the front here. Fair.
Yeah, I was a little worried they couldn't see enough to really do what they were trying to do. Like she didn't get around that guard by much. She couldn't have missed that guard by too much more. And she ends up popping out pretty much all of the yellows. I don't think there's any yellows left in the back. I don't know if that one at the back is on, but this gives New Brunswick now the opportunity to really lock another one in there in their favorite little draw path here.
Yeah, they should know it pretty well now.
Yeah, and so far Mia West has been the sharpshoot drawer.
Yeah, she's been pretty precise so far.
going, keep going, keep going.
I guess the key here, Lauren, is they just don't want to set up a double anywhere.
Just got a piece buried or so, yeah.
Oh, that's a really good shot. I think they're almost all buried. You can see a little better from your vantage point, but
there's no double there. So.
And it's tight enough, I think. Yeah, it's tight enough that if they do hit the one in the back, there's still going to be third shot.
Charlotte, do you ever see this?
Honey butter.
This might be an ideal opportunity for a coach interaction.
Yeah.
You can see that one in the back 8 foot down in the bottom corner of your screen there. If you ever did flop and hit under, because of the great draw that New Brunswick just made, I think you're still always third shot. So I don't know if maybe the run is the only shot.
I'm a fan of the run. I think a draw in this situation, they were kind of looking at that as very all or nothing.
Yeah, if you ever put that draw in the wrong spot, then you might be looking at 4.
Yeah, I like this. Contact with some red.
Yeah, I guess as long as you direct it towards the center, and Coach Ian Wilson is going to come out after all. So coach interaction concluded. Looks like they're settling in on the hit and roll. The coaching staff here on the commentary bench is not thinking this is our choice, but hey, you know what? We're up here, they're down there. They're the ones that have to throw it.
Again, like we talked about, the thing with this call is I think you're sitting third after this. Like I don't think you're out counting that top red.
No, and maybe
and you're in the back of the rings, and
maybe their fear is if we miss the run,
a 4 spot maybe.
Maybe. I think if you miss the run, though, as long as you clear the front, then you should have something on your next one.
Yeah,
or even to hit this one that you're hitting now. Maybe you hit that on your next one.
Yeah.
Sweepers are on it early. I think they feel like it might be a little narrow. As they get by that guard, they might be able to get something off. Oh, that was not the miss, unfortunately. Now, Ontario in all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, New Brunswick can kind of put this one in a good spot and secure a bunch here.
Where are you putting it, Lauren, if you're New Brunswick?
A little, I think they'll wrap.
I think if they go where they're calling it, like top 12, I don't even know if they really need to. I like that spot, I think. I don't think you need to be in the rings, but because if Ontario doesn't really have to play on those top reds, they can get rid of one, but New Brunswick will still be shot 2, it looks like, if they just knows that.
I was thinking like corner frozen on our red.
Maybe they could get, I don't know, it's hard to say.
I think the aggressive animal in me is to throw the out turn and maybe tap that one at the top 4 foot and just maybe bump that into the button. And if you could ever get a little bit inside there, staggers them up real nice, and there's probably no double then.
Yeah, I don't even really think there is right now. I think
yeah, that's fair point.
The best you have is nosing that and maybe being shot second shot.
Not sure I'm a big fan of putting it, edge 12 there where Mia had indicated with her broom. Again, I think the big effort here is just to not set up a double.
Yeah, I think maybe her thought process behind this is trying to guard that one in the back of the house that they were trying to hit earlier. I don't know.
I wouldn't want to give them anything to run.
Yeah, no, I like just locking one on the top.
Yeah.
So should be okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to tap it too far so that she has the draw on the other side.
Yeah.
Even if you're like a tight guard at this point, like Charlotte's gonna have to make a nice draw or try that hit again, but that hit is.
Yeah, and to your point, if you lock it on top, and Charlotte ever did try the in-turn draw to the button, because the in-turn draw to the button's there, but if you lock it on top, it's a relatively simple tap, tap, tap for 4 or 5.
Gotta go wait. Yep.
Just biting the rings here would be
Yeah, that's
pretty good.
pretty ideal, isn't it?
I like that.
And there you go. Maya Pugsley draws that right in front of her little line of rocks and sits 4. Now Ontario with some decisions.
She's going to have a pretty big draw here to either cut New Brunswick down or she can get this in a good spot. It curls enough.
Do you ever throw the hit that you were just trying to throw now?
Again, I don't think you're giving up 3 if you do that, no?
Well, do you flop underneath? Could you get across the face of it a little bit and flop underneath? Not sure. Maybe not. Maybe it's always chaseable.
Well, I think, would you be shot over that red that's in the top 8?
But you'd beat the one that they
Yeah.
just threw out. So like if you could ever flop to the not quite to the center line, almost directly under the one on the top button.
Yeah. With that, New Brunswick is probably getting their 2, which is original end goal, I would think. Anything more than 2 is a bonus for them. So.
Yeah, Ontario probably would be happy to get away with giving it 2 now.
Yeah, I would
right?
think so.
Have you seen Greece or no?
Cut your losses this end and get a better setup going next end for sure.
This in-turn draw that we talked about earlier is pretty dicey.
It is. It's been sitting.
Ever rub that flop out, it's a 5 spot.
Yeah. With this though, you can bring it back to half in the back 4, and New Brunswick will have a tough draw for 2. You have a little bit of real estate, but not a lot. Sweepers on this early.
To your point, it's been sitting for a bit.
Yeah,
so
I don't think they've played this side this end, so.
And unfortunately, Ontario comes up short, giving New Brunswick the opportunity to draw pretty much open house for a handful of points.
Do you ever like on Charlotte's last there, maybe playing the other turn?
Yeah.
And at least if you're heavy, you can play to that back red that's in the back 8.
Yeah.
Lock on there, or.
They initially indicated that, and for some reason went to the other side.
Yeah, which is a spot you haven't seen all end.
Right.
No, that's fair, yeah.
Where I would assume that they're getting times on New Brunswick's rocks and watching theirs. So they at least have an idea of what's going on that side of the sheet.
Got it.
Now New Brunswick, Maya Pugsley has the opportunity to throw down a fairly familiar side.
Yep.
Really just has to hit paint.
Yep.
I like it.
It's tight, Casey's rock. It's good.
It's good. No, we're good.
T-line. T-line. T. That's good. Yep. Casey. Top 4. Top 4. It's good. T.
This looks pretty close to me.
Yep, time looks good. I got a 15-3 on it. We'll rub off of that one to roll in, and there's 5 for New Brunswick here in the 4th end, cracking this tight game wide open. That gives New Brunswick a, got to do the math, 6-2 lead going into the break. The teams will have a short break.
I had a 4-0.
As we watch some of the shots from this end in the game so far. We'll be back soon.
Today we learned to put one foot in front of the other. That with a little hard work, great things will happen. We can go for gold, but what matters most is having fun. We learn from some of the best, improving our skills, building confidence, and making friends that feel like family. We are proud to be the future of curling.
Look at that shot. See how he reacts. There goes one move in the air. Hit the ball through. Ah, great shot. Great shot. Oh, he's going to pick it right out of there. He's got it. Is what you need to become the Canadian You got one, you got two, you got three for the game.
Time to go home, kiddo.
Just one more throw, please.
Thank you for making moments like these possible.
We're back at the Jerry McCrory Countryside Sports Complex in Sudbury. Sean Turf with Lauren Radula. Ontario 2 versus New Brunswick. Big end there, Lauren. Big 5 spot for New Brunswick to take a big 6-2 lead over Ontario. The team's now in the 4th end break. They get a few minutes just to decompress and run to the washroom if they need to, and then before they get back onto it. They'll get started here in about a minute, and we'll be back with that. Welcome back, folks. We're at the New Holland U-20 Canadian Curling Championships here in Sudbury. We're at the Jerry McCrory Countryside Sports Complex. I'm Sean Turriff. We're here with Lauren Radula. We're watching women's draw 12 action between New Brunswick and Ontario 2. And Lauren, big end there in the fifth.
Yeah.
The fourth.
Yep, New Brunswick, they're in a good spot for sure now. Ontario is going to be reeling a bit here this end.
How do you bounce back? Like, what do you do?
It's nice, honestly, to have the fourth end break kind of be where it is in this spot. You can kind of take a moment and regroup and refresh and grab something to eat and then get back into it, and hopefully we'll see some. We're gonna have to see some more aggressive play style from Ontario too, for sure. With that comes harder shots. And higher potential for mistakes. So it's tough when you're down like this to come back, because the shots are a lot harder and you have to be more precise. So we'll see, I assume, 2 corners come up here from Ontario too.
So between ends, in the fourth end break, they do mop the ice. They just run a mop up and down just to clean up any debris and keep the frost from creeping up while they do take the break. They do a little pebble behind the hacks, not on the playing surface anywhere. And sometimes we see teams get caught by that a little bit. So far, so good. That Ontario guard is pretty much where they wanted it. New Brunswick threw their stone in, so maybe no mop effect in this game. We've seen it in the past, but so far, so good. To your point there, Lauren, Ontario throwing up that guard, saying, yep, time to get stuff in play. And
lots of rocks in play will be beneficial for Ontario too at this point going forward.
So I mentioned earlier, there are 9 teams per pool. If you do the math, that's 18 total teams, and of course, most people are sitting there saying we don't have 18 provinces and territories. What's going on? And we keep referring to Ontario too. So a few years ago, Curling Canada made the decision to expand the field here so that some of the MAs, and I say MAs, member associations, meaning provinces and territories, get multiple entries based on their results in the past. So the better your province or territory does, the more opportunity you have to send extra teams here. The idea being experience. Let's give more players experience at the national level on arena ice, in the pressure, so that they can develop through the pathways. Maybe that last shot that sailed through there, Lauren, maybe that's the mop thing I was talking about.
Yeah, maybe, honestly, yeah. Gotta be mindful of the mop.
Ontario now looking to take advantage of that corner guard they threw up. It's taking its time getting over there, but it sure is creeping in behind, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, if you're Ontario 2 here, do you like throwing up double corners?
Yes. Short answer is yes. The longer answer is I'm not personally a fan of corner on each side, especially with ice like this, because I feel like it cuts off one of your draw paths.
I agree.
So I would like to see stack corners, but that first corner guard is right in the middle. Where do you put it?
Yeah, you're right.
That's the only issue. But I'm with you. I think I would have preferred two like a stack corner.
Not a big ad. Look out, Lucky!
Scoring 2 here for Ontario 2. It does get them back in it. They can score 2 and then hopefully get a steal going the following end.
Even a force isn't the worst, right? Take your 2, 6-4, force 7-4. Take 2.
Yeah.
7-6. It's game on, right?
Yeah.
They got work to do for sure, but I don't think, like, to your point, you don't need to panic. Like, get your 2, concentrate on getting your 2.
Yeah.
And just concentrate on getting your 2.
You want like a 14? Yeah. Hey.
As you mentioned earlier, the teams get 32 minutes per game.
Heavy. 13.
And at the fourth end break, you want to be somewhere around 16 minutes. Both teams in good shape with the time clocks, 15 and change right now, halfway through this end. So time clock shouldn't be a factor. Really well thrown shot there by Abby. That
really nice shot.
She even got the little roll under there, I think, didn't she?
Yep, little
just
flop under for sure.
A little bit. Oh, just enough. That's a pretty good shot. Well swept too.
Yeah.
Always got to give a little shout out to the sweepers. Sitting here with the front end player. don't want to ignore that. This is a pretty prudent call, I think. Rip that guard off. Just New Brunswick should probably be in full defense mode.
Yep. Peel guards when you can.
Clean. Clean.
Successful peel by New Brunswick.
We'll see it replaced here. Hopefully covering that top yellow. Ideal spot so that there's no play on the top one.
Yeah, and this goes back to our conversation earlier about placement of guards, because she wants to get, if she covers the outside of it, outside of that top rock, there is the potential to maybe slash double it.
Yeah.
If she covers the inside of it, there's the potential with a soft chase, she could maybe come around the other way and nose and at least push one of them out and get position. The position of these guards is so critical, and it's so difficult. But that's a nice shot. That was a really well-placed guard. Good depth and good kind of east-west location as well.
Hard, you gotta go. Hard, you gotta go. Hard, you gotta go. Okay, big roll.
Are they trying to run back there, do you think, Lauren?
It's by the line call, it sounded like it for sure.
Hair down.
Just maybe try to get a piece of one of those two yellows to the back? One of those two yellows in the house?
Yeah, you might as well try and play it. The higher the guard, the harder you honestly probably leave another corner guard up there. But at least it's your own rock. Red rock, at least.
Line's good. Three. That's okay, though. Looks heavy. Three.
Heavy's not ideal.
This one will have to move a little bit, too.
Feels like they take their time coming across the center line a little bit there.
Yeah.
Once they're over, they do seem to get there. But
yeah, a little bit of heavier weight, too, probably affected that curl.
I think there might be a triple. It might go by the back one, but I didn't really see it with the out. With the out, yeah.
New Brunswick here will have a chance to at least get rid of a couple stones.
Yeah, I think they're eyeing up a triple here. I think I heard Mia mentioning, I think it was Mia, hard to tell who it was, but I think Mia mentioned that she's eyeing up the triple. She catches that on a little bit on the low side. I think she's got it.
Yep.
I think. They're sweeping though. She looks like she's on the high side at the moment.
Good shot.
Oh, very close.
Very close. And that's probably good enough. The triple was a nice thing to get, but
Really close. Nice.
doubles still pretty good. Leaving that shooter in the front of the rings there is helpful for New Brunswick.
I'd prefer the wing.
New Brunswick doesn't necessarily want rocks in play here, right, Lauren? But at the same time, if you're in front, maybe that's not so bad.
Yeah, I don't want rocks in the back of the house is where it gets tricky, because then you have catchers and
Amelia trying to split the house, I believe, here. Do you like this, Lauren, or would you prefer a guard?
This her third's last stone?
Yeah.
I don't hate this. You, like we said, goal is probably to get 2. You gotta be shot here, though. Because otherwise, ooh, that's not ideal. The guard in that scenario is pretty precise too, and I think the draw is a little bit easier to sit to, force New Brunswick to make a play on them. Especially with skip stones coming up, so.
Are they second? Okay.
This gives Maya a chance just to take that one out. They can sit 2 after this. As long as they don't give Ontario a double to sit 2, they should be in good shape to force.
Yep. I think the call here is to roll under, seems like.
Yeah, I think the roll under would probably do it. I don't think the double to sit 2 would be there then. I think the only thing she really can't do is roll away or roll out.
Yeah, she can't roll out.
This one's pretty good.
Hard.
Worst case, I think she gets nose here. A little flop out, but nothing extreme.
Stuck around for a shot. Main goal for sure.
Ontario doesn't have much choice here. They really have to address this rock.
We've seen this side tons, so.
Yeah, it seems like this is the preferred side for sure. Both directions, too.
Yeah.
Good sweep.
Charlotte Wilson now just trying to hit this. I think she indicated the flop under. I think she did.
By the placement of the broom, looks like they're trying to flop under. But I think we're just going to get nose here, a little flop in.
It is shot, so New Brunswick will hit it.
Yeah, make sure we're shot.
Very brief conversation there. Mia talking to Maya about maybe ignoring that rock and doing a little promotion there, but
I like this. You heard them say play it safe.
yeah,
They're up 4.
Scoreboard shot.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we trying to roll?
Forcing Ontario here to 1 is, I would assume, New Brunswick's goal for this end. So play the safe call.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good outcome for New Brunswick.
Yep.
You got it.
Well, that's an interesting outcome.
Now, if I had to bet, it looks like yellow might be shot.
If that's the case, second shot.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah. But still, I know what you were thinking. Because if yellow is second shot, then all you really need to do is tap and roll, and there's your conversion, your hammer conversion.
Yeah.
Well, Ontario looks like they're convinced.
You just can't hit this one first. 'Cause that'll go into that.
This is not a super easy shot.
No, you have to worry about the jam a little bit, don't you?
Yep. Looks like Amelia's kind of aware of that.
Yeah. Only there if you thin it.
So as you're looking at it there, we're hitting that red rock on the right,
I think it'll really
half a rock-ish. Get a little roll, maybe come off the back of that just as a safety net.
You got it. Yeah, I think
Yeah, I think if you get it too thick here, you're hitting the other red beside it. So
What kind of weight would you be throwing, Lauren, do you think?
I wouldn't be throwing any more than control, like a 10-5, 11. But they're calling heavy.
Heavy. Hard to say. Hard.
Ooh.
Oof. That's a tough miss, unfortunately, for Ontario. I think they might have bumped their own out if there was ever any doubt. I think now red might be second shot.
Yeah.
Just got a little wide on that, and the sweepers were calling that heavy. Looks like they're going to measure it. It's definitely one for red, and we'll let you know the score when we return. Welcome back, folks. We're measuring for the final result of the fifth end here. It's definitely one New Brunswick. It might be two. It's either. It's either 7-2 or 8-2, depending on the outcome of this. Your bet is, my bet's red.
Well, see, they pushed it now, so I don't know. I think.
My bet's red because they pushed that yellow one out when they tapped, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with you there.
Oh, it was quite close.
Wow.
But it was another red. And so New Brunswick does get a pair in the fifth end to push the score to 8-2. And these teams of this event are required to play. This is a new rule, too. They are required to play 7 ends unless there's a score differential of 6 or more than 6 after 6.
Interesting.
I think that's right. I might have that wrong. There is a score differential rule about the 6th end. I think it's 6 after 6, but I stand to be corrected. For sure, they have to play 7 if it's otherwise. And as always, once it's mathematically impossible to tie the game, you must finish. You must stop playing. I mention that because I didn't see it myself, but some of the coaches were mentioning that there was a game that might have gone on while there was no possibility of a team winning. Not in this draw, not now. Anyway, back to our game. New Brunswick is now full defense mode. This one's probably coming through, Lauren.
They're calling it in. I mean, as long as you're top house, you just don't want to be back.
Yeah, you don't want to set up anything for the opponent, but
yeah, like I was saying, anything in the back house is just catchers and.
Right. We'll do a quick recap here again. Sheet A, we have Northern Ontario and Newfoundland Labrador. Newfoundland Labrador currently up 4-3 over Northern Ontario. Northern Ontario has hammer though. Just looking over there, Newfoundland Labrador looks like they're in pretty good shape to force or steal.
Yep.
On sheet B, we've got Quebec against Nova Scotia. That's a tight one too, 4-3 in the 6th. And over on sheet D, I have 100 people in front of me, and I can't see the score, but I'll get back to you, I promise. To your point there, Lauren, that was, oh, there we go. Sorry, Alberta and Saskatchewan It is. I'm pausing because they just updated the score, and there's still somebody in front of me. Saskatchewan has 1. I believe Alberta has 7. I think it's 7-1 Alberta.
Yeah.
For all the scores, curling.ca/scoreboard, because there's 4 other games going on somewhere else, and we can't see them from here. Anyway, sorry, to your point, Lauren, that that first rock did come deep.
Yeah. Not overly ideal. They always come back to bite you. I find. I don't know. Especially being up so much now, there's not really like good spots to put a bunch of your stones, because eventually Ontario can kind of weasel their way in there somehow, or use those as backing or catchers.
This one too looks deep. Is there a tendency or a risk, I guess, Lauren, of taking your foot off the gas here for New Brunswick?
I mean, yeah, for sure. That's definitely a possibility. You are up quite a bit in score, so you can definitely see that more often than not in junior play for sure, to kind of, I'm up a bunch now. I can kind of relax, and rock placement doesn't matter, or we kind of get lax with where the rock placement should be. So again, seeing these rocks in the back of the house, as a lead myself, I mean, I'm still trying to be pretty precise and exact with the placement of these stones.
Ontario threw up a corner guard that was pretty high, pretty close to the center. Not perfect. And then I think with that last one, they were trying to come around, just kind of hung out there on them a little bit, giving New Brunswick the opportunity just to pop it off the rings and maybe even roll out.
At this point, if I'm New Brunswick, I like hitting and rolling out. hitting yellow rocks, rolling out's totally fine.
Just like that.
I think the call here is to freeze. Seems like they're gonna use the rocks in the back of the house.
I mean, you've made the point a couple of times. They're
Yeah.
there. They're there. They're going to help you probably more than they're going to help New Brunswick.
Now I think there is the same argument to be made about putting up guards and then not using them. So
Yeah, that one might not have been a very helpful guard, though.
no, I kind of got to readjust after that guard. Maybe throw one up on the other side, get a better placement for it.
Now, do you ever peel this guard anyway? Or is it just not a factor?
It's so high, it's almost not a factor. But then again, I don't want to say that and then it come back and bite you in the end. Honestly, trying to blast this group of 3 rocks here and get as much rocks out of the range as you can is beneficial. See big peel weight here.
Weight looks good from Carly. Looking for a little bit of line work from their brushers. Good rotation, pop and boom, and to your point, rocks fly. Created a little bit of a pocket,
Yeah.
but Ontario's going to be scrambling here regardless, right?
Yeah. You're okay giving up a couple as New Brunswick, for sure.
Yeah. An 8-2 is a pretty steep hill to climb.
Yeah. Not a bit of room here, but good thing is you can't play off that side red, but it's looking a little heavy right now.
If it could curl a little bit, they could get the little squib over.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need a little less of that rock. Hit that a
Just
little
a
thinner.
little too heavy too, because that little flop overs is nice, but you almost pushed that red too far back, so the pocket's not there anymore.
Right.
Jam potential though, for sure.
Nia West being forced to not throw a draw. She's thrown a couple of really good draws this game. See how she does with the hit. Looking pretty good from our vantage point. There's your jam, but it's pretty deep, and it's right in behind the red one, so it's pretty much job done.
Yeah. Yep. I like the nose freeze. You've been playing it all end, so might as well stick to it. Pretty good recovery there by Amelia.
Weight looks close. It's really kind of over curling on them. The weight was close. They did get, a solid rock more curl than they wanted, but New Brunswick clearly just going to try and get rid of this rock. Just trying to clean house.
Yeah, as Ontario this end, I was kind of hoping to see a bit more guards in play, maybe. Especially because that first guard wasn't in an ideal spot, so you kind of want a bit more to work with rather than just freezing to stones. Because that's a really hard shot. And yeah, you got to make it perfect, so.
So a little philosophical disagreement there, minor, from between Ontario. I think Charlotte wanted to try and use that guard. The team wanting to freeze nose.
Yeah.
So you got to throw it, so you get to pick.
She just threw it.
I think I'm with you, Lauren. I think an extra guard would have been good, especially considering where that first guard went.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but if you ever could stagger another guard in there somewhere, then all of a sudden it becomes more useful because a guard's a guard.
Yeah, you could even wrap one around that high guard and get a kind of double off center going.
Yep.
A little bit of an over curl, but really, really great weight.
Yeah, 2 shots where the weight was really there. It's just line, and not to talk about the ice forever, but it is challenging, right? The amount of curl, this is the 6th end, and we're still seeing as much curl as we were seeing in the last stone draw. It might have changed by inches, but certainly only by inches, not by feet. Just not something you would see in your club environment.
Yeah. Got it out there. See if it comes back. God, just enough of it looks like.
Yeah, clears that freeze away.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of an outside motion on her release. Got her a little bit wider than she intended. But that does the job. That's all she was really trying to do. And to your point earlier, Lauren, like, giving up a 2 here is not really an issue.
Yeah.
I expect if this is even remotely difficult to see, they'll just hit that one in the back 12 and be happy to hand 2 over.
Yep.
Out-turn draw coming from Charlotte Wilson. Really wants to try and take advantage of that high guard if she can. Sweeper's not on it early. I'm hearing back 4.
You almost want to try and play this so you bait New Brunswick into trying to chase after this.
Yep, and if you ever get a rub on a guard or a straight flash, then maybe you get a 3 spot out of
Yeah.
it. Is there such thing as a skips 3? Skips deuce, I hear.
The open one. Okay, I like this call.
Yeah, they're not getting baited into what we were trying to pull them into.
Worth a try.
Ladies, how about the intern? You could chase on the intern.
Come on.
Give it a shot. I can see half the rock. I can see 3/4 of that rock. Come on. You can make the double. No, this is the smart call.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. This is a smart call. And likely throwing peel. Don't need to stick around because you're going to be second shot anyway.
Just make the stone go away.
Just make it go away. The 2 is the goal. Giving up 2 is the goal. Looks pretty close from here. They are sweeping a curl, but they're definitely gonna make contact. Good contact. Sticks around. Giving Ontario the wide open draw for 2.
Similar path she just threw, so she should know what it does here.
Taking good ice. Should be lots of room around that guard.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the same broom they gave for the guard. Sorry, for the first draw. I got a 15-1 on that first one, so that's very similar to what we were seeing in the LSD and even in the first couple of ends. So ice is held up very well. Shout out to Tom for his ice. Sorry.
I was going to say, even if it was a 16 running at the beginning, like they were getting 16 threes to top 8, and it slows down to a 15, that's still great ice. 15's honestly the ideal speed probably to T-line. And yeah, shout out to Tom.
Yeah, excellent ice for 2 weeks. With the mixed doubles having run last week. So Ontario takes a 2 spot, making the score 8-4 and 6. Looks like the Ontario team is trying to decide what to do with a 4-point deficit. We'll assume they're going to play, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. We're at the New Holland U-20 Canadian Curling Championships in Sudbury, Ontario at the Jerry McCrory Countryside Sports Complex, former home of the Amethyst Curling Camp.
Oh,
I
you know
say
what?
that over and over again.
When I came in, like the first first time I saw the ice here, I was like, oh my gosh, this reminds me of Amethyst.
Flashbacks. This is a little nicer than we had at Amethyst, but we're watching New Brunswick and Ontario 2. New Brunswick women are up 8-4 over Ontario 2. Ontario 2 does have to give up the hammer in the 7th end and has a bit of a hill to climb, but have decided to take this on. They haven't given up. It's only a 4-point deficit.
Speaking of Amethyst Curling Camp, this Ontario 2 team, I believe all 4 of them have been to the camp, so it's really nice to see campers at an event like this. So shout out to them, props to them.
Yep, absolutely. I won't go on about the camps because it's a bit of shameless self-promotion, but yeah, glad to see that happening. So Ontario 2 here, trying to generate some offense. They probably wanted that on the center line, take advantage of the no-tick rule. For those of you who don't know what the no-tick rule is, any rock in the free guard zone that is on the center line may not be removed by your opponent until after the 5th rock at the end. May not be put to a position off the center line until the 5th rock at the end. So that's why it's really important and why your coach might beat up your lead to make sure she owns that center line.
Yep. As a lead, that center line is my friend. Or I try to make it my friend.
Yeah, you bet. New Brunswick throwing that one through, Lauren. I don't know if they called that through on purpose. It looked like they did with the turn, but I might have. I was talking too much, so I might have missed that.
Either way, I mean, not the end of the world. They're gonna have to make plays on the center when they can.
To our former point, there's a center guard on the center line.
Yep.
Now that one can't be moved. It can't even be it can't be ticked, and that's really the critical part there.
We don't have a double peel. Yeah.
They can move it a touch, but they just can't move it off the center.
Right,
so.
right. So New Brunswick not going to flirt with it at all. They're going to throw the out turn to the wing here. They could in maybe in another end throw it in the middle and try and cut that scoring area off, but they're not going to mess around here.
Yeah.
Okay. Weight's good.
I don't mind. There's always some risk with throwing around the centers. You kind of got to get it in a good spot. You can't be back because then Ontario 2 can just loop around and then be frozen on there. So there's not much room for error, but here you can get it off to get the play away from the center.
And even though that one's deep, it kind of does the job. It shrinks the scoring area a little bit at least.
Yeah.
Ontario is probably always coming around the center regardless of where the rock went.
Yeah, and New Brunswick will be peeling anyways, so I assume anyways.
The two of us sit here and say, they're probably going to do this, and it's all scoreboard driven, right? It's that 4-point deficit that's really determining that, Ontario must throw up center guards rather than something in the top 4. And New Brunswick must stay away and must, That's a pretty good draw, top 4 there by Abby, getting right around that staggered pair of guards.
You might be able to get all 3 going here.
Oh, girl. We don't have time. Yep. We might be able to get another one in the house.
New Brunswick second, Carly Smith.
Yeah, really.
Hoping just to clear that front up. Maybe she gets a little lucky and gets them all moving. Just like that,
yep.
Maybe?
It's
what
very
a
nice
great shot.
Yep.
Nice shot.
Might be in there on the edge, but boy, oh boy, that's a pretty good shot. Well managed. Good for them for seeing that and executing it so very well. Ontario now probably throwing up that center guard again.
Yep.
They don't really have a lot of choice.
Yeah, you're kind of hoping for a miss here on the peels at this point after that very nice double peel.
Yeah, that was pretty spectacular to move that off the top of the 4-foot there by Carly. That was a pro shot.
Yep.
Now that we're past the free guard zone rule, this rock can just be straight peeled. The center line doesn't really come into it anymore.
That's all right. I like you.
Just some consideration as to where the promoted rock goes, whether it goes back onto those others or whether they promote it back onto their own. At least the potential. And ooh, right through the gate. Good peel there by Carly. Much simpler than her first one.
Yeah. Still got to manage those rocks on the side now, but even if you kill one of them, you're hoping that your shooter rolls out with it.
As I mentioned off the top, both teams sitting at 3 losses at the moment. And a few games left to play, but they really, if they want to have any hope, they really have to win out. So
yeah,
tough time to lose one for either one of these teams, and both of them probably coming in here pretty hungry. Ontario hoping for not necessarily a flash, but even a nose hit here would be advantageous. Something just off of nose, something up front that they can use. The Brunswick are going to do their best to not give that to them.
Hard, right over. Keep going.
And there's an indication, Lauren, I think, of how lively those rocks are.
Rolled.
She hit a good almost nose there.
Yeah. Yep. I'm surprised that it rolled that far.
Again, not your club rock.
Yeah.
I have to hit about an 1/8 of a rock at my club to make it roll that far.
Oh yeah.
I have to almost just miss it to get it to roll that far. And all that means is that the players it demands a little more precision from them, and you might think, well, yeah, but they're young, maybe they don't. Well, yeah, but it's all about development and training, and if you don't get to play like with conditions like this, you're not going to be ready for it when you get to the next level. You're in an ideal situation. You're in an ideal position to speak to that kind of thing, right, Lauren? Because you've come through this pathway, and you're at the next level of your player experience.
Yeah, it's definitely an advantage to be able to play on ice like this for sure, because that's again what the goal is later on in your career, to be playing back on arena ice again.
Ontario doing what they can. There's not many options here. They're looking at that corner, but I think they really need to stick to the center. Without Hammer here, this Red Rock really isn't of no concern. I always make the analogy at this point in the game, it's a little bit like pulling the goalie. Doesn't matter now if you lose 12-4 or whether you lose 8-7. Like you've got to go all out.
Yep.
And ripping this rock out, New Brunswick's just going to rip it out back. And sure, you could take your one, or we'll take our one. And
yeah, I'm not sure if the call here is to try and flop a bit. I don't know how much space you really have to flop under that corner.
They're playing to such a thin sliver of the rings. It really gives New Brunswick the entire house to draw to or to play to on their next one.
Yeah, but again, there's not really much going on in the center.
Would you not just throw up another center
Yeah,
guard,
I think so, and hope for a miss.
Hope for a jam, or hope for a nose or something.
Yeah.
New Brunswick, I imagine, just throws it right up the center. If they were really they're really cruel, they might try and throw one around the corner, I suppose. But again, scoreboard dictates that they don't need to score any more points. So throwing up the center, Ontario, you go ahead, hit it out. We'll hit it out. We'll take one. We'll be happy with a 5-point lead going into the last end.
Yep, I would take that.
Well, it's 20 good. Or 4-1 normal. Okay.
Of course, the pivotal moment in this end was really that amazing double peel, rip that thing off the top forefoot by Carly Smith of Brunswick.
Yeah, that's why, again, guard placement is super important.
We're close.
Especially with lively rocks like that, you can get rocks going pretty easily. So getting them directly on top of one another on the center line is a good spot to have your center guards.
Might not get another chance, so I'll do a really quick scoreboard rundown. Northern Ontario, Newfoundland, Labrador. It's 5-3. They're measuring in the 7th end. Quebec and Nova Scotia is 5-3 Quebec in the 7th. And Saskatchewan, Alberta 7-2 for Alberta on sheet D. All your scores, curling.ca/scoreboard, because I can't see the other sheets, so can't help you there. New Brunswick put that, where is it, top button, Lauren?
Looks like it. Splitting T maybe.
Right, okay. Not much choice for Ontario here. I mean, they could try to freeze it, but we saw that how difficult that is, and it's wing and a prayer, I think, with a freeze.
Yeah. But again, maybe you do try it, like you said. Pulling the goalie doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter.
How many?
That one on the left may be on, and I don't imagine New Brunswick cares too much. Obviously, they were hit and stick for one if they can here, as opposed to rolling out.
Oh, they're in. Okay.
Sounds like that yellow is in on the side, so they'll be trying to stick around here.
I think if they rolled out, I don't think they'd be too upset.
No, again.
Just make sure it's not a 2.
Yeah. You roll out, you keep the hammer too, so, but again, scoring is ideal in this spot.
Quick update on the Newfoundland Labrador and Ontario game. Newfoundland Labrador took one more in 7, so they are up 6-3. We're working on this one pretty hard, Lauren. It's starting to move.
They called it down from the hand.
I think she's got it, though.
Again, those lively rocks, we'll see.
Oh, I thought that was going to stop back 4, but it does stop in time. New Brunswick takes one more, making the score 9-4, and that's handshakes. New Brunswick therefore goes to a 3-3 record, and Ontario 2 falls to a 1-4 record here in celebrate the new Holland U-20 Canadian Curling Championships. Again, Sean Turf here with Lauren Rajala. Lauren, thanks. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you come back. So.
Yeah. Maybe you'll see me Thursday morning.
Teasing. It's a teaser. Tune in, folks. Our next game's at 2 o'clock, and another one here at 6. Stay tuned, and thanks for joining us.
It's a beautiful blend of strategy, skill, and creativity. Curling. But it's our people that make us great. We're a mosaic of countless experiences. We communicate and collaborate. We value new ideas and different perspectives. We learn from our past and from our future. We may even disagree sometimes, but it's in our differences that we can see our strengths. The beauty of our sport is reflected in our people and our values. Regardless of your ethnicity or gender, your abilities, your stage in life, your beliefs, or who you love. The rocks and the ice don't discriminate, and as curlers, we won't either. We will be the change that we want to see in the world. Curling is a place for everyone.